We're back on the Subaru. What do we got in store? Let's talk about it. We've got some CV boots to put on and a transmission seal to put in and a few other miscellaneous items. So, y'all join us. We're fixing to get after it. Okay, where I left off, we had gone through the carburetor, I believe. I had talked about the alternator and how the noise was coming from the alternator, and my son had diagnosed, well, it's not. It's actually coming from roaring, was coming from the water pump. So we have a water pump ordered. It's here. And what else do we have to do? Well, I'm a little scared of that hose right there and starting to mess with it. I'm afraid that if we mess with it much, it's gonna rupture and break. So I'm gonna head to the parts store and buy one of those. All right, well, it's a little while later and my son is up here working to get the on the water pump and get it going. I'm gonna go underneath. We got it up in the air a little bit where I can scoot up under it. I'm going to work on that leak right there. That is the rear output seal. And we've got to take the drive shaft out. Shouldn't be a whole lot to it. It's already in neutral, so I can get right to those bolts. So let's get after it. Okay, we've got the handy dandy seal puller. This is my Mac seal puller. Got it from my old man. It is part number, there's an S120. And we're gonna see if we can get it to fit up in there and pull this seal out. It should go up in there, but there it went. And get it rocked around there, and then hopefully it'll do what I want it to do. It's got a little hook on it, and you just give it a little tap, and there it goes. It pulls the seal right out. Nothing to it. All right, so Houston, we have a problem. That's the oil seal. That's what I got sent to replace it. Slight size difference. So after a little digging and looking here locally, I found a seal that's supposed to work. So we're going to load up and go see if we can get the right seal. All right, so the whole transmission output shaft seal, this thing is turned into a whole deal. I ordered from Rock Auto a 22745 Temkin output shaft transmission seal. Well, what I neglected to remember, didn't think about, is that this thing is a transaxle and it has axle shafts going out of the transmission. This is probably most likely to seal the axle shaft where it goes out of the transmission. Doesn't specify that really well in the Rock Auto's manual, so I'll lay this one at my feet, okay? You start trying to cross over and figure out what numbers the actual seal is and which seal you should have for the drive shaft that drives the rear end of the Subaru BRAT. That's when the waters start getting a little murky. You start pulling up the dimensions and it gives you a 1.181 as the shaft diameter and a 1.978 I think is the outside bore diameter. Which that is correct. This is a 1.9 on the bore, but they're still saying a 1.181 on the inner shaft. So it's a whole deal. I think we have finally figured out what's going on. I finally found my dial calipers and I measured it, and it's 1.378. Wasn't that what we came up with?
Something like that.
Something like that. But I've got all the numbers written down. But it's a 1.378 in the center, and it's a 1.97 something on the outer diameter. And trying to figure all that out is a pain in the butt. So if you can't figure out what seal you have by looking at the parts catalog, you can actually just measure, which is when I finally found my dial calipers. That helped me locate and figure out which seal we actually need. So tomorrow, I'm going to try to find it local. If I can't find it local, I did find the right seal finally on Rock Auto, and I'll have to order it. But one way or the other, we do finally have the correct seal. All right, well, my son got the alternator installed, got the new water pump. We didn't do a whole lot of videoing on that, but she's charging at 14.37. Got the headlights on high beam, fan motor is blowing wide open. At idle is 14.37 volts. So this new AC Delco alternator is doing its job. It is humming very quietly. We got to tighten that belt up just a little bit. But that's it as far as what's going on out here.
Is it that
Yeah, the alternator is probably hot because it is. We're giving it max charge. So yeah, she's warm. Going to shut everything off as far as the lights and all that. And 14.5 volts. 5.2, 5.1. Excellent. Well, we have run it for several minutes. Still run like a sewing machine. We dialed in the idle, and cooling fan is cycling on and off like it's supposed to. Temperature staying halfway. Let's go around here and look. Where is the temperature? There's the temperature. Temperature staying right there. Idle oil pressure is at 50. So we've got her dialed in. You heard how good it runs. It's quiet as a mouse, smooth. What else can you say about the way it runs there, son?
quiet and smooth?
Quiet and smooth. So we've got to figure this transmission thing out, and I say we go over here and we start pulling some tint and get this tint off these windows. And of course this window tint has been on here 9,000 years, sun baked, and is not coming off very easily. If we can get some more sheets like that, that would be nice, but regardless, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch us peel window tint. I just wanted to give you a little quick taste of scraping window tint.
It don't taste very good. Kind of salty.
It stinks too. And I guess, what are we looking at? Half hour later?
Oh, not even half hour, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, half hour. I jumped on one side, he jumped on the other. See on that side over there, crystal clear. A little brake clean and some terry cloth, and glues off, and working on getting a little adhesive spots. All that nasty old tint is off. So she's coming on along. All right, so we didn't get everything done we wanted to get done. We've still got a couple more things to do, but we did get a few things accomplished on the Subaru today. It is back running. And when I put those axle boots on and do the transmission seal, I'll bring you along for that. So in the meantime, why don't you go watch another video coming on the screen right now.